a revolutionary book that transformed philosophy, exploring Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus. What if language could perfectly map the world? How clear would our thinking become? Ludwig Wittgenstein's Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus, in fewer than 100 pages, tackles one of philosophy's deepest questions. Published in 1921, this work not only stunned philosophers but also shaped linguistics, logic, and even the birth of artificial intelligence. Today, let's dive into this pinnacle of logic and language to uncover how its concise propositions reveal the essence of the world and the limits of our thought. 1. Wittgenstein's philosophical revolution. Ludwig Wittgenstein, born in 1889 to a wealthy industrial family in Vienna, grew up in a home marked by both privilege and tragedy. 3 of his brothers died by suicide due to depression, fueling his profound quest for the meaning of life. Initially trained in engineering, his fascination with mathematics and logic led him to philosophy, studying under Bertrand Russell at Cambridge and engaging deeply with logician Gottlob Frege and philosopher G. Moore. In 1914, Wittgenstein enlisted in World War I, conceiving Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus in the trenches, a work that was both a philosophical breakthrough and a response to a chaotic era. Europe, rebuilding after the war, saw philosophy shift from traditional metaphysics to precise logical analysis. Inspired by logical positivism, Wittgenstein sought to reshape philosophy through the logical structure of language. In the preface, he wrote, "The aim of this book is to set a limit to thought, or rather, to the expression of thoughts." In plain terms, this means this book seeks to clarify what we can think clearly through language and what we cannot express. For those things beyond language, understanding comes through experience. The book is built around 7 main propositions, supported by rigorously numbered sub-propositions, unfolding like mathematical axioms to clarify the relationship between language and the world. His goal wasn't to propose new theories but to eliminate philosophical confusion caused by the misuse of language. Wittgenstein's revolution lay not only in his method but also in his challenge to traditional philosophy. While philosophers like Kant and Hegel obsessed over abstract concepts like being or essence, Wittgenstein argued that such problems often stem from language's ambiguity. He proposed that philosophy's task is not to answer what the world is but to clarify how we understand it through language. This perspective influenced the Vienna Circle and propelled the development of analytic philosophy, marking a turning point in 20th century philosophy. For example, Wittgenstein's wartime notebooks reveal his reflections on the relationship between facts and language. While debating with a comrade about whether God exists, he realized such questions defy logical verification. He saw that philosophy's struggles often arise from trying to express what transcends logic. This insight runs through Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus, forming its central thread. In post-war letters to Russell, he wrote that the book was not just for philosophy but to find order in thought amid chaos. This pursuit of mental clarity stemmed from his acute awareness of language's disorder. In the trenches, he witnessed the absurdity of war, where language was often used to obscure truth or incite emotion. For instance, propaganda slogans like "Fight for Glory" inspired fervor but hid the grim reality of war. Wittgenstein believed philosophy's role was to clear the fog of language through logic, revealing facts as they are. In discussions with Russell, he noted that language misuse not only fuels philosophical confusion but also clouds everyday judgment. Consider Franz, an officer who, after the war, realized he had blindly trusted propaganda until the battlefield revealed how language distorts reality. This insight drove Wittgenstein to apply logical analysis to philosophy, offering a clear framework for a chaotic world. This blend of personal experience and historical context makes Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus a unique philosophical text. Wittgenstein's writing style is striking, concise, proposition-like sentences that avoid lengthy arguments, each as precise as a mathematical formula. This style reflects his engineering background and the logical positivist pursuit of clarity. For example, in Proposition 1.2, he writes, "The world divides into facts." In just 7 words, he encapsulates a radical view of the world. This means the world isn't a single, unified entity but a collection of distinct facts like a puzzle made of countless pieces, each an event, state, or situation. This concise yet profound style makes Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus both challenging and captivating, drawing readers from philosophers to lay people. 2. The world is the totality of facts. Wittgenstein opens with, "The world is all that is the case," Proposition 1. He argues that the world isn't made of isolated objects but of facts, relationships between things. For example, a cup on a table isn't just cup or table but the fact the cup is on the table, encompassing the cup, table, and their spatial relation. This challenges traditional philosophy's fixation on substances, emphasizing the dynamic and relational nature of facts. Imagine Emma, a journalist covering a concert, who doesn't describe piano or audience but focuses on the fact the pianist plays Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, and the audience applauds. Her vivid report captures the logical connections between events, not just isolated objects. Wittgenstein further states, "The world is the totality of facts, not of things," Proposition 1.1. This means understanding the world requires seeing how facts combine into a whole. This idea finds echoes in modern technology. Take Google's search engine. It doesn't store objects like text or images but analyzes relationships, hyperlinks, keywords to build a network of facts. When searching Paris climate, Google delivers facts like Paris's temperature is 15 degrees or Paris hosted a climate conference, not just Paris or climate. This aligns with Wittgenstein's totality of facts, revealing a shared structure between language and the world. His concept also inspired systems analysis in social sciences. Consider Olivia, a sociologist studying urban poverty, who focuses not on poor people or communities but on facts like low-income groups lack educational resources and unequal resource distribution leads to job scarcity. By mapping the logical connections between facts, she offers precise policy solutions. This approach mirrors Wittgenstein's philosophy. Understanding society starts with the structure of facts, not isolated entities. His ideas also influence data visualization. Statisticians, for instance, create interactive charts showing relationships like population growth versus resource consumption, helping decision-makers grasp complex facts intuitively. This perspective applies beyond technology, offering philosophical insights into understanding complex social systems. Wittgenstein also distinguishes between facts and possible facts. He argues that the world includes not only what has happened but all that could logically happen. For example, it might rain tomorrow is a possible fact, imaginable within logical space, even if it hasn't occurred. This distinction inspired modern probability and decision theory. Economist Daniel Kahneman, for instance, showed that human decisions hinge on expectations of possible facts, echoing Wittgenstein's concept of logical space. Consider Victor, a city planner designing a transit system, who accounts for the fact subway station traffic increases while anticipating the possible fact peak hours may cause congestion. His plans combine facts and possibilities to ensure efficiency. Wittgenstein's insight reveals that the world's complexity lies not only in what happens but in what could logically occur. This perspective is reflected in data science, where predictive models analyze known facts to forecast possible outcomes. 3. Language is a mirror of the world. In Proposition 2, Wittgenstein states, "What is the case of fact is the existence of states of affairs." States of affairs, or atomic facts, are the simplest, indivisible facts, like the sun rises. Language depicts these facts through propositions, whose logical structure mirrors the structure of facts. He writes, "A proposition is a picture of reality." Proposition 2.1. This means a valid proposition must be verifiable as true or false, with its structure reflecting the logical relations of facts. In simple terms, propositions act like maps, corresponding to the terrain of reality. Wittgenstein emphasizes that language reflects the world's logical structure, so understanding propositions is understanding how we depict the world. Take Carl, a programmer designing a database, who breaks down students enrolling in courses into minimal logical units like Anna enrolled in math. These units combine via logical connectors like and or to form complex descriptions, such as Anna enrolled in math and passed the exam. Wittgenstein argues that language, like such a database, can precisely reflect the world state through logical structures. This picture theory influenced modern linguistics, notably Noam Chomsky's generative grammar, which sees language as rule-based structured expressions. However, language's mirror isn't flawless. Wittgenstein notes that only logical propositions, those verifiable as true or false, can depict facts, while metaphysical claims like the soul is immortal are unsayable because they can't be verified. Consider Isabella, a philosophy student trying to prove beauty is eternal, only to find no logical proposition can validate it. Wittgenstein's insight showed her that beauty transcends language, grasped only through intuition. This idea profoundly influenced logical positivism. Rudolf Carnap, of the Vienna Circle, built on Wittgenstein's picture theory in the logical structure of the world, aiming to reconstruct scientific knowledge through logical language. Yet Wittgenstein also cautioned that language's limits make fields like ethics or religion resistant to logical propositions. These areas rely on personal experience, silence, or nonverbal expression, and framing them in logical terms risks losing their essence. For example, philosopher Frege, in language, truth, and logic, argued that only verifiable propositions are meaningful, sparking debates about the unsayable, rooted in Wittgenstein's ideas. Imagine Lily, an artist painting to express freedom. She finds language can't fully capture her intent, but her artwork conveys emotion directly. This reflects Wittgenstein's view: language depicts facts but struggles with subjective experience. His picture theory also offers new perspectives in literary criticism. Take Eleanor, a critic analyzing Kafka's The Metamorphosis, who notes how language depicts the fact Gregor turns into a beetle to paint an absurd world. Yet Gregor's inner turmoil resists full expression, conveyed only through metaphor and symbol. Eleanor sees Kafka's language as both a mirror of facts and a challenge to language's limits, aligning with Wittgenstein's philosophy. His theory also shapes language teaching. Consider Carlos, a language teacher who emphasizes logical sentence structures like if-then over rote memorization, helping students grasp language's logical framework, reflecting Wittgenstein's ideas. His picture theory not only provides tools for philosophy and linguistics but also inspires literature and education. 4. The mystery of logical space. Wittgenstein introduces logical space, where facts exist within a realm of all possible facts. In Proposition 3, he writes, "A logical picture of facts is a thought. Thoughts, expressed through language, reflect reality via logical structures, but they are limited by those structures." For example, the cat is on the mat is a possible fact, but the cat is a number is logically impossible, violating grammatical rules. Imagine Sophia, a quantum physicist who finds that a particle's position and momentum can't be precisely measured simultaneously, per Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. This limits describable facts, akin to Wittgenstein's logical space. Language can only express logically possible facts. He writes, "Facts in logical space are the world." Proposition 1.13. This means the world is defined by facts arranged according to logical rules, not some mystical essence. Climate models, for instance, predict weather patterns within logical structures but can't describe impossible events like the Earth stops rotating. Logical space's openness lies in its embrace of possibility. Wittgenstein argues that a fact's existence depends on the non-existence of others. For example, the door is closed implies the door is not open. This exclusivity informs modern decision theory. Consider James, a financial analyst predicting stock trends who bases models on facts like company profits rise, ruling out company bankruptcy to make investment decisions. Wittgenstein's logical space provides a framework for analyzing constrained possibilities. In artificial intelligence, logical space finds application in deep learning models that simulate possible outcomes. For example, self-driving cars use facts like the road is clear to rule out obstacles ahead, deciding to brake or accelerate. Yet in extreme conditions, like severe weather, systems may fail, highlighting Wittgenstein's point about the limits of logic and language. Consider Adrian, an ecologist modeling forest ecosystems, who finds wolves preying on deer logical but deer preying on wolves impossible. This logical constraint helps him build accurate models. Wittgenstein's logical space not only grounds scientific modeling but also illuminates how we navigate complex systems possibilities. In management, logical space applies too. Leela, a business consultant, optimizes a supply chain by mapping facts like suppliers deliver on time and ruling out transport disruptions to design efficient processes. This mirrors Wittgenstein's approach. Decision-making relies on sorting possible and impossible facts. Game design. Martin, a developer, creates a role-playing game with a logical space of facts like the player helps the village or the player fights enemies, combining them to craft rich narratives. Wittgenstein's theory shows how logical space underpins complex systems, from supply chains to virtual worlds, helping us find optimal solutions within constraints. The logic and truth value of propositions. In Proposition 4, Wittgenstein explores the logical structure of propositions. A proposition's truth value, true or false, depends on its correspondence to facts. If a proposition can be broken into atomic propositions and combined via logical operators like and, or not, its truth can be determined. He writes, "The sense of a proposition is its truth conditions," Proposition 4.0-2. This means a proposition's meaning lies in the conditions under which it is true or false. Its significance comes from its logical ties to facts, not emotions or values. This reinforces his view of language's limits. Propositions with unclear truth conditions, like those in ethics or religion, fall outside logical expression. Consider Nora, a judge evaluating the testimony. The defendant was at the scene. He breaks it into atomic propositions like the defendant entered the building at PM and surveillance shows their presence, using logic to verify truth. This aligns with Wittgenstein's truth table method, which lists all possible truth combinations to assess a proposition's validity. His truth table approach profoundly shaped modern logic. Computer scientist Alan Turing drew on similar principles, using binary truth values 0 or 1 to design algorithms, with his Turing machine extending Wittgenstein's logic practically. Truth tables also inform formal verification in software, like Boeing's used to ensure error-free flight control systems. Yet Wittgenstein notes that some propositions, like what is the meaning of history, are too complex to verify directly due to their many variables. Historian Claire, studying the Renaissance, tries to summarize it with the Renaissance advanced science but finds it resists simple true or false verification. Wittgenstein's insight shows such propositions, while meaningful, often lie beyond logical space. Truth tables also apply to everyday decisions. Marketing manager Aaron, designing an ad campaign, tests the proposition consumers like this product by breaking it into consumers bought the product and consumers gave positive reviews, verifying with data. This reflects the practical utility of Wittgenstein's logical propositions in rational decision-making. 6. The limits of language and silence. In Proposition 6, Wittgenstein states, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world," Proposition 5.6. Many philosophical problems arise from trying to express the inexpressible, like ethical, aesthetic, or religious experiences. These lack logical verification, so we should remain silent about them. He concludes, "What we cannot speak about we must pass over in silence," Proposition 7. This means our understanding of the world is bound by what language can express. What lies beyond is approached through silence or nonverbal means. Consider Lucas, a poet trying to capture the ultimate meaning of the universe in verse. He can describe the stars' brilliance but not the awe of gazing at them. This is Wittgenstein's unsayable experiences that transcend logical language, understood only through feeling. His idea influenced 20th century philosophy. Martin Heidegger, in Being and Time, explored the non-linguistic dimensions of existence, arguing that language can't fully capture being. Zen philosophy, as articulated by D.T. Suzuki, emphasizes wordless intuition, resonating with Wittgenstein's call for silence. In daily life, this silence has practical value. Maria, a therapist, listens to a client's grief over a lost loved one, choosing silence over words to convey empathy. She finds silence often reaches deeper than language. This reflects Wittgenstein's philosophy. Life's meaning lies in experiences beyond words. Consider Sebastian, a composer crafting a symphony to express peace. He finds language can't convey the emotion music evokes, yet listeners feel it deeply. Wittgenstein's silence reminds us that art, religion, and ethics transcend logical propositions. 7. The enduring echoes of philosophy. Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus is a landmark work, using logic to reveal the deep connection between language and the world while defining language's limits. With concise propositions, Wittgenstein overturned traditional philosophical methods, inspiring logical positivism, philosophy of language, and artificial intelligence. He wrote, "The task of philosophy is to make thoughts clear in the fog of language." This is not just philosophy's mission, but a guide for navigating a complex world. The book's value lies not only in its logical system, but in its probing of thought's boundaries. Scientists, poets, and everyday people alike understand the world through language, yet find life's depth in silence. Take Thomas, a teacher discussing Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus, who guides students to analyze what is happiness. They find happiness resists logical definition but is felt through sharing and experience. Wittgenstein's philosophy shows that clear thinking is wisdom's start and silent experience is life's destination. Later in life, Wittgenstein critiqued Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus for overemphasizing logic's rigidity, neglecting language's diversity in daily use. In philosophical investigations, he developed language games, exploring how language gains meaning in specific contexts like game meaning chess or sports. Yet the Tractatus's core insights, language is a mirror, logic's limits, and silence's value remain timeless philosophical questions. In today's world, Wittgenstein's ideas resonate. AI language models like ChatGPT mimic logical structures but struggle with unsayable emotional nuances. Julia, an AI engineer, draws on Wittgenstein's silence to improve systems by detecting emotional cues, enhancing user experience. His philosophy also informs cross-cultural communication. Javier, a translator of Chinese classical poetry, finds aesthetic mood untranslatable into Western languages. He preserves the original's ambiguity, letting readers feel the poetry's depth, aligning with Wittgenstein's silence. The Tractatus offers not just logical tools for philosophers, but a framework for clear thinking for all. In any field, clear language organizes thought, while respect for the unsayable fosters humility before life's complexity. Consider Natalie, a social worker helping immigrant families, who finds language can't bridge cultural gaps fully. Through listening and presence, she conveys care beyond words, embodying Wittgenstein's philosophy. His silence also inspires mindfulness in modern psychology. Ava, a mindfulness coach, encourages letting go of judgmental language to focus on breath and presence. This silent practice reduces anxiety and fosters peace, echoing Wittgenstein's ideas. The Tractatus's enduring allure lies in being both a logical masterpiece and a meditation on life. In a letter, Wittgenstein wrote that he hoped readers would think more clearly and live more happily through the book. In science, art, or daily life, the Tractatus reminds us that language is a tool for understanding, but life's meaning often lies beyond it. Let this book be a mirror, reflecting how language shapes our world and how silence reveals life's deeper truths.